Hey Saints fans, welcome back to the channel. And before we get started, as always, I'd like to say if you enjoy the film studies, which I hope that you do, need you to do one thing. Comment "who dat" down in the comment section below. And we're going to talk about Alvin Kamara today and the importance of him returning to this offense. And we'll talk about what that has done for the team, what it's opened up for the team, and how it's made them better, and how Alvin Kamara is performing at a very high level, even though if you went and just looked at like yards per carry, you'd be like, oh, well, it doesn't seem like he's doing very well. In fact, cue the advanced analytics. And these are the things that you're going to see with the tape study today. So I'm not just trying to throw you numbers to make you feel better. But Alvin Kamara, as you can see, in terms of attempts forced, or attempts before he forces another broken tackle, his first down touches, how much he's doing, is comparable to other great names across the league right now. So not only is he a great player, he's been a fantastic leader, and I'm going to show you how he's impacting this offense. Let's go ahead and roll the tape. So for this one, we're going to start with the obvious. Number one, Alvin Kamara is good at running the football. But the key is kind of how and what makes him so good. Well, number one, we talk about qualities of a running back you love. This is one that we talk about getting skinny through the hole. Well, what does that actually look like? It looks like this. So as you have this zone run, you're going to see a hole opening up. But the key is, do we take that on? Now, many of you might go, well, why is Alvin Kamara taking what looks to be the more difficult road? Simple. His guard has leverage to the inside. Block down right there, and then we've got leverage to this outside guy. So he's going to choose to get skinny through this hole with this proper read instead of going through here where the lineman doesn't have leverage. There's probably only potential maybe a 4-yard game if we can get skinny through this hole that's still opening. This is running with anticipation, running with vision, we'll get a bigger play. That's exactly what happens and gets 10+ yards, 10-ish yards. Roll it back around, see from this opposite angle. You can see it here. McCoy trying to get to the second level doesn't do a bad job, but he's already made the decision, as in AK's already made the decision that I know my numbers and I trust my blockers. He's made the decision before this is fully developed that we're going to go this way and get skinny through this hole, whereas he could go up here, but he's going to get a shorter game. Now, the whole premise of the outside zone system that New Orleans will utilize, and we'll look at it in a couple different ways in this film study, but the whole point of the outside zone and even split zone and stuff, we're trying to make 3 different rushing lanes. We're trying to give a guy options. So as you're going through with a zone run, we'll get to more of that and throughout. You've got the bend, the bang, and the bounce. So we would bend it on backwards, we would bounce it outside, or we bang it up the middle. So one thing that he's great at is having amazing vision, understanding how the blocks are going to develop, and then taking the choice from that. And what for many people might look like a potential bad play, he turns into a good one. All right, back at it again. And this is another one where, wow, the dude makes something out of nothing. And again, we talk about contact balance and agility and just spatial awareness. He's got it at an elite level. But let's talk about this play, because we talked a little bit recently about Penning struggling, right? I know Underhill just wrote an article. I think one of the reasons you're seeing Pete struggling is he's learning a new system when it comes to run blocking as well. So number one, you'll notice his back foot, he's slow to get off here. What New Orleans is doing, they love to run zone with Alvin Kamara. So when Jamal Williams is the primary running back, they're mostly running man blocking schemes like duo, and even you've seen them in the past run trap blocking, things like that. Well, Alvin Kamara is a zone cut type of a running back. He likes inside zone, outside zone, even split zone. That's a different style of blocking. In zone, the entire offensive line is moving as a group in a single direction, and they're blocking an area versus blocking a specific man. Penning has a slow start here because he launches off the wrong foot. You'll see Hurst already kind of get ahead of him. Then another thing happens that has happened multiple times to Penning, and I think this is where he's going to have to get better facing all these veterans. He gets held. Simple as that. That is holding. But as I went over in a previous film study, there's no longer a ref/umpire/judge right here. There's nobody in the middle of the field to see this really. So you've got to be able to avoid it and combat it as an offensive lineman. So this delays him getting to that next level and getting a clean block on the DB. Now, at the same time, Alvin Kamara is special, right? So again, the whole point of these style of runs, you're moving in these directions like this, you're trying to give options, whether that's cutting upfield, whether that's sweeping it around. Now, in this particular one, this is obviously designed to go to the outside. And this is just, again, showcasing what makes him special. So instead of it being a normal zone play, we're looking more of a sweep type situation here. That's okay, because obviously with Taysom Hill, you have options. You want to run that read option right now. The Taysom is reading, the linebacker, reading how this guy is playing him, and he's going to decide off that. So if they are playing true to the gap, he's going to hand it off, and we're going to sweep it across the line. And no matter what way they decide to do this, really comes down to Alvin Kamara is simply special. And even when the blocking isn't perfect and it's not crisp and little things are happening that always kind of throw it off. You see like Penning getting off slow here and kind of launching off the wrong foot. A guy like Alvin Kamara gives you the ability to create plays like this. And it's just small things that he does so well. So even if you have a bad block off your primary guy off that opposite side, you made the read correctly. Taysom does the correct read here. He reads, gives the ball off. And then it's a great job here when we talk about getting skinny. Part of it is you actually want to find your guy and you ride right off the edge of him. You want to go right off his butt and cut up field, get north-south. And again, we're talking about that great contact balance that he has. So again, let's look at some more of Alvin Kamara. All right, this time we're doing something even different. So we've seen option with him. Now we're going to have a toss sweep style of play. And again, this is simply Kamara being able to read things as they develop. And the good thing about him is he has a predictive nature to him. It's almost like he's got Chat GPT in his head because he is able to read and determine where those blocks are going to be before they get there. And that is the case of a very special player. So one of the reasons he's going to cut back here is that gap is closed. So we're going to cut it on back. But instead of him saying, hey, I'm going to try to cut it to the right of inside Ruiz, he understands flow and he understands flow. He's got two offensive linemen moving in his direction. So what's he going to do? Not only is he going to cut it back, he's going to cut it back smooth right there, right on the back. You say he just basically could have touched the jersey of all three of those guys. It's upfield, and this gives him that north to south momentum. So we talk about Alvin Kamara being one of those running backs who manages to always fall forward. A lot of that is how you get your momentum shifted. So at the toss, he's reading. Ruiz has not managed to cross the face of. Tough block there, get the gap. But even though there's a hole right here, he's understanding leverage and what's being created by his offensive line. So if he cuts back here, he's going to have to deal with the backside guy, but he's going to make a positive play. If he breaks through that, well, he's going to have a really big run. If he doesn't break through it, either way, he's getting positive yards. And this is the reads that he can do that just make him kind of special. So bam, right up there, big play. I mean, a solid play. I mean, it's not an amazing play. You're going to see we're going to go from about the 40, get a few yards, but it's all because he's able to read this way back here and see how it goes. He's going to cut upfield, get a nice 5-yard gain. It's nothing crazy. But these are the type of things that make him unique and special. I've always made him special, that even when things aren't perfectly blocked, he manages to turn things into a positive play. And this is something that I hope Kendre Miller gets better at. And in terms of as a running back, this is, again, just showcasing he's the most talented running back this team has. And even if blocking isn't perfect, or even if it is, he's going to try to find the best situation. He does not get stopped in the backfield very often. And this is part of the reason why he understands at the point how things are going to develop. And again, it's like that Chat GPT's in his brain. He sees it. And now an underrated part of his game is actually in pass protection. And I love this one because this is a huge play to Rashid Shaheed downfield, gets him inside the 10-yard line. They're now driving to score a touchdown. But it all starts with the blocking of Alvin Kamara here. Now he's going to be in the gun, lined up right underneath Trevor Penning at the tackle spot. So he is going to cross, never get in the way of the passing lane with Carr, and then block this delayed blitz over on the backside. So great job to see this and read it. Now you see his eyes are there, while at the same time, look how he's standing. He's positioning himself to the outside so he can feel anybody who might try to come for him there. But he's watching, do I need to hit that outside? Ramczyk is going to drive his guy inside. And you see off screen, he's noticed where it's coming, gets underneath and fills in the spot. It's a fantastic job there. Look at it from this backside of Alvin Kamara, just reading, reacting, and operating quickly, getting out of that throwing lane because he's not really getting into it at the timing of the throw. It's a fantastic job there. So he's reading that entire backside, comes through, sees a late guy, fills it up. Fantastic, right? These are little things. Again, these are the type of things that never show up on a stat sheet, but what make him such a critical part is he's not just an electrifying runner, and he's not just a wide receiver at running back / running back at wide receiver because he can do it all. He can do it all, including picking up the blitz like this, which obviously Saints fans remember has been a struggle for the first half of the season, first quarter of the season, and it has gotten a little bit better. Guys like Alvin Kamara are making it better. Giving you another run play here. This one against it's going to be essentially a 7-man box. Again, they're running that zone look, and another one of just like, how good is he at understanding how to play his position at an elite level? And we talk about get skinny. I use it pretty, I'd say maybe I use it too much, but look at this, just flowing just right up the gut, man, but behind the blockers, and that allows him to actually fight through. He's able to transition all that energy that he's creating, and he's able to push it in a way that always has him driving forward, even through contact. And this is just, again, The difference in a rookie like Kendre Miller and a short yardage back in Jamal Williams and a guy like Alvin Kamara, where in these plays, sure, he's got multiple options. He's already decided what he's doing. He's taking the bang, but the bounce could have been there. Blocks missed. Don't have to worry about it. And cutback could have been there. This would have been the, bend it on back. But again, options. But he saw all that before he even made the decision. And that's just something that makes him unique as a player. That ability to see and have the vision for the field and then make his decision to make his cut ends up getting these type of big plays. And I'll be honest, that's really tough to do. I mean, we critique guys like Derek Carr, but truth is he has a tough job, right? Reading the entire field in 3 seconds or less is tough. As a running back, same thing. The fact that he can see this at the handoff, he's already made the decision. He's decided pre-snap, I have an idea of where everybody's going to be in terms of defensively. So he knows that's probably going to be a free guy. That means that this route is eliminated. So if we're trying to make 3 different rushing lanes, he already knows. Eliminate it. And then post-snap, he's going to confirm this one over here onto his right. See it's closed, and then just decide that we're going to choose this one. And he hits it clearly, hits it firmly, and gets a big gain and brings him into the red zone. Another critical third down, and it's something that the team has struggled with. And you see a lot of pressure gets shown right here. And one, I got to give love to 3 different people on this play. Alvin Kamara picks up the interior blitz guy, the inside guy, and that's his role. He's supposed to pick up the innermost the innermost rusher here as a blocker. So I'm gonna let you see it from this angle, and then we're gonna give some love to a lot of people who did a great job. So snap, you have a split here. So you got 4 guys flowing down. You got Rams solo on the outside, and then now Alvin Kamara's job is to fill this gap. And he's got 2-on-1. And you might go, well, how does he know his job? Job is simple. Take the inside guy. Why? The inside guy is the one with the clearest path to the quarterback. So if we can delay him, nothing else, we're going to fill this gap, forces this guy to go around. You're buying an extra half second, which is all you need. Now, Derek Carr needs to do one thing. Feel the pressure coming, throw at it. Generally, that's what you want to do as a quarterback. You want to throw at the blitz. So feels pressure coming, sees that his primary read in Olave is not open, get it to Michael Thomas. And then Michael Thomas deserves love because he takes a hell of a shot and holds on. And look, Alvin Kamara, fantastic. Derek Carr, honestly, a little bit better in the past couple weeks. And you've seen some of that be backed up with analytics. And we can maybe show you a graph of that. But anyway, Michael Thomas, a lot of wide receivers drop this. A lot of wide receivers have the entire win and everything knocked out of them, and this is a struggle bus. So number one, great job Alvin Kamara doing his job. You see, forces the other DB around, takes him out the throwing lane, and then Michael Thomas holding on to that ball is just impressive. Watch it one more time from this angle. So it's important, take that inside guy that keeps the throwing lane open. Great job to throw into the blitz by Carr. Perfect ball. And then a fantastic job of Michael Thomas to hold on. Big third down conversion. All starts with Alvin Kamara up front. You want to see Alvin Kamara be really good at running the ball again? Good, because I want to show it to you. And honestly, they haven't called enough plays for him to be immediately amazing in the passing game. But again, we talk about the style of blocking that he prefers and the style of runs he prefers. And if you play to the strengths of a guy, you're going to surprisingly find out they do better when you play to their strengths. So another zone block here. So McCoy crossing the face of the nose tackle. Fantastic job. Ruiz has nobody immediate, so his zone is going to carry him to second level. Rams got the same thing. We're going to block down Hurst, second level with his outside zone run. And then Penning has a really tough job to try to cross the face of this backside guy. So this is the point where he's got to make a decision. If he can see this with his peripherals, gosh dang, he's impressive. But obviously, that's a tough reach block, and Penning doesn't get it. But we do have the bounce available. If he wants to bounce, it is there if he wants to. But you always kind of prefer to take the bang, right up the gut if you can. If you can bang it up, you really want to go north and south. That's your preferred. And the initial look here is clean. He immediately decides and takes, and then gets skinny through a very small hole. And again, this is something that we talk about where why is all this, Alvin Kamara offseason where he's testing his balance and working his core? Why does it matter? Because making the ability to change direction very incremental amounts and then fit into very tiny holes like this and then bust through for big yards. That's what all that pulling of a Jeep and bouncing on medicine balls and catching tennis balls and black lights and all that other crazy stuff does for him. He's got amazing balance and great core strength that he can fit through these tiny holes and then make the smallest changes, because the goal is, again, when you've got an offensive lineman and you're creating a hole in college, if you want to, in college football, remove this right here. That's how big the holes are in college. In the NFL, things get tougher. And now you've got to fit through this space. And keep in mind that it's not just the space. You got to be mindful of feet. You got to be mindful of hands. You got to be mindful of momentum. All these things you got to know and be able to operate through. And that's what he does. He knows exactly how to ride right behind that guy, bust through, and then make a play. It's just special. And this is just kind of the thing that why he's effective after 8 years. He's still able to do this. Sure, he may not have elite speed, and he may not have the ability to just turn on the burners and capture an edge, but he understands the game. And you talk about running back being a position that transfers to the NFL very well. And I've said this before, but the ability to operate it and understand it like Alvin Kamara does is special. All right, so Alvin Kamara tends to be good for one of these at least once a game. I do still think that they need to do better at giving him opportunities in the passing game. But right here, where he just manages to make something out of what the heck is going on and get it all the way down to the 7-yard line is just him being ridiculous. So we'll watch from this opposite angle. This is just a little bit of a delayed swing pass here. You're going to see that you're going to have a pretty heavy front in terms of Alvin Kamara. When he was a rookie, he was only getting 5-man fronts. Now he gets 7 or 8 pretty regularly. Comes here, immediate swing. Great blocking all around. And then this, for most people, is knocked out of bounds. Again, contact power, balance, stability. Look at all that. Fight back through it and then work upfield and then fight through contact. It's insane. 8 years in the league, 7 years in the league, being able to do stuff like this is nuts. I still want him to be more in the passing game. So not as long of a film study as normal. And I think for a lot of fans, this is probably like, oh, it's just AK being okay. And that's fine. But it really has changed the offense in a way that has made the offensive line as a whole better, though I do believe that Trevor Penny's got to become a better zone blocker. He certainly wasn't used to it, just like he wasn't used to the NFL level of pass protection. I think he'll continue to get better as games go on, as he's gotten better in pass pro. But Alvin Kamara is elite as a West Coast offense zone running back. He fits it perfectly, and getting him in here has been huge. Kendre Miller is getting better and better in this kind of same role as you're getting more touches for him. But I think the big thing for AK is just having the opportunity to, one, call shots. Because I say it, and there's just not much I can really show on the field that really speaks to what I've been trying to push on the Who Dat Confessional podcast and here in the film study. But as a leader, he has grown so much. I mean, he'll go to Pete Carmichael and Ronald Curry and say, hey, we need to do this. He's trying to get plays that not only fit for him, but for Michael Thomas and Derek Carr and the offensive line. He's become a great leader for this team, and to the point where I would argue that what he does now this year is better than what he was doing 5-6 years ago under Drew Brees. And he was phenomenal all-pro level player there. But in terms of how he's impacting the team, he's really taking a step up. And you can not only see how he's great with running the ball, but also hopefully all the other intangibles. If you enjoyed the film study, as always, like the video. Liking the video helps out tremendously. And join the Discord if you haven't already to talk more Who Dat football. Love you. God bless. Greatest fandom in all the world. And we'll see you on the next one.